Okay, let's boil this down for you. Valerie Sabala is the Executive Director of the Syria Institute, a think tank focusing on advancing the public understanding of what's going on in Syria. She joins us now live from Washington here on the News Hour. Valerie Sabala, now what we're talking about here is this. There is no longer a rebel presence in any major Syrian city, particularly the four big cities. What does that mean?
Well, there is still in Idlib city. But yes, it is a significant, certainly symbolic win for the Syrian government. It is tough times for the opposition fighters that remain. But it's actually at the same time, it's a big, I think, a boon for the extremist, for ISIS. ISIS was not in Aleppo city, and Jabhat al-Nusra, which is rebranded, this was not a stronghold of theirs. They had maybe a couple hundred fighters out of thousands. So this is actually weakening the moderate opposition relative to the terrorist groups that are recognized around the world as terrorists.
Some people are saying what might work against Bashar al-Assad from here on in is the fact that this could, in theory, turn into a rural conflict, and his forces, some people are saying, are pretty much exhausted, not least because of what's been going on in and around Aleppo over the past, 3-4 weeks now.
Absolutely, and actually his forces did not form a majority of the forces that took Aleppo. It's this Assad coalition with Russian airstrikes and actually Russian officers on the ground with Iranian Quds forces, in addition to, I think the majority of the fighters were pro-government Shia militiamen funded by Iran, many of them foreign. And this is the battle force that we're talking about when we talk now about the Syrian government victory or the Syrian military victory. And the battles have been going on in the countrysides while all attention has been in Aleppo. Particularly, you look at northern rural Homs, which is a large besieged area. Attacks have continued, as well as in the Damascus countryside. Attacks have continued against many areas nonstop. And you're right, it is harder for the Syrian government to do the same level of damage that it did, to target every single hospital, for example, as it was able to in Aleppo to undermine the population there.
Could this be happening without Russian involvement?
No, there's no chance. And we saw that because it hasn't happened for years. Of course, Iran's involvement has been tremendous. It's helped pull the Assad government back from the brink of what many believed was going to be its collapse at the end of 2012. That's when we saw Iran really come in full force in terms of shifting the government strategy and helping bolster its ailing military by recruiting national militias, NDF, and a variety, there are dozens of them now, pro-Assad militias, and also flying in foreign fighters. This has really helped the government pull back from the brink of collapse, and then Russia has really helped it go on the offensive. There's no way it could have done this without those two countries.
How do you think from here on in the outside world deals with what I guess will be a victorious Bashar al-Assad?
It's hard to say. I would, on a realistic hand, I think all the countries that have taken in refugees are going to have to continue to do so, because there are millions and millions of Syrians who cannot return back to Syria or to their homes with the Syrian government currently in power, maintaining power, because the fact is that it persecutes all Syrians who do any sort of activism, any sort of, even have the wrong relative, live in the wrong area. I mean, many cannot go back ever under Assad government. And I think today we saw the General Assembly, or yesterday, vote to pursue prosecution of war crimes in Syria, and that's a good step. I hope the international community continues in that direction.
Valerie Sabala, thank you very much.